Hi, class. So, for this week, we are talking about evaluating sources. And it's really important to evaluate what we find, and it's especially important to do this with websites because, as you may or may not know, anyone can publish anything on the internet. I can publish things on the web, you can publish things on the web. People that know what they're talking about and are experts on particular topics can publish on the web, but also conspiracy theorists, people that are trying to trick you, people who are trying to steal your money, or people that are just trying to spread bad information are also posting on the internet. So you just have to be aware of what's out there. So what this week we're going to look at is how to evaluate based on these 5 criteria. It's called the CRAP test, and it includes currency, which is how new an item is, relevance, which is how relevant an item is to your topic, authority, this is where we look at the author and publisher of the site, accuracy, so how true is the information, and also things like typos, things like that, and purpose, why does this site exist? And what you're going to do is take some of your resources and apply the CRAP method to it. So you're going to take one of your websites from last week. You could also do a book from a couple weeks ago if you prefer. Answer some of these questions, and then you're going to evaluate based on each of these criteria. And I believe you need to do 3. Yes. And this might take a little while because it does take some time to dig into all these things and find this information. But in the end, what you should know when you're done evaluating is whether or not this source is good to use in research. I'm going to show you an example of why we need to do this. So say I am on Google and I do a search for human cloning. I'm going to look at this site here. This is the second site down. So after Wikipedia, it's the top result. And if you think it's at the top, you might think it's a good resource because it's near the top of the Google results. So starting with currency, I don't see a date right off the bat. If I scroll down a little ways, I see 2003 and 1998. Those are not particularly current, and this is a medical topic, so I would say that I would want things a lot newer than that for a medical topic. Now, how current is current really does depend a lot on your topic. For those of you doing things related to um, criminal justice and medical, you definitely want things that are new because laws and medical things are always changing. For those of you doing things related to history um, and more kind of general topics, those things you can have information be a little bit older. Next, we're going to look for relevance. This one's the easiest to tell. Does this topic or does this website pertain to my topic, which is human cloning? Yes, it does. So I know right away that this is relevant, so it passes that piece of the test. For authority, I really need to figure out who the authors are of this site. And, it doesn't really tell me much. Like if I were to click on the benefits of human cloning, like it tells me an author, but who is Simon Smith? It really doesn't tell me anything about Simon Smith at the bottom or at the top. And I might try and Google him, but Simon Smith is a pretty common name. And there's also the About Us section, but it doesn't give us any specifics either. It just says a lawyer, an internet expert. Like, what does that mean? So I'm going to say it fails this one because it really doesn't give me any information on who these people are. Next, we have accuracy, and this one can be the hardest to tell because you might not know anything about the topic. Like, I don't know anything about human cloning, but I can tell some other things. Like, this is kind of a junky looking site. It doesn't look well maintained. It's got all these ads on the left-hand side, which are ugly. All of those things are red flags. Links that don't work, video players that aren't functioning. So look for things that you can tell, even if you don't know anything about the topic. And for purpose, why does this site exist? Well, I can tell right away that it is in support of human cloning, and that's definitely the case as you read through these articles. So, there might be information on here, but I need to remember if I use this in research that this is a very biased site that is in support of human cloning. So I want to make sure I balance it out with some other sites. So what you can kind of see here, remember this was the top Google result, so you can't just rely on Google to be filtering out the bad stuff. So think critically about what you're finding, and hopefully you find that you have found some good sources on your topic. Please be in touch if you have any questions.